Okay, we have a tropical system out in the Atlantic, um, just north of Miami by about 100 miles, and by the Bahamas, down by the Bahamas, we got a system. Um, it's probably going to be winds of around 40 miles an hour, 45, not much more than that. Just a little depression or tropical um a weak tropical storm or depression. So, but yeah, I mean, we have a cold 3.4 area. A 3.4 area. We have a cold INSO. We have a cold INSO 3.4 area out across the equatorial Pacific. And that's all the way across like three different areas of the Pacific. And it is it's about 70 to 73 degrees right now. And that's perfect fuel for the Atlantic to be not a lot of wind shear, not a lot of wind shear, very low dry air, and and um and there's a moist train coming off of Africa, very moist air coming off Africa. A lot of rising motion in the atmosphere where the storms like that, like the rising. They like air that rises because when air rises, you get thunderstorms, you get convection, and then that wraps around in a circle and starts creating a low pressure center, and then that wraps around the center, and then you start getting a circulation and a spin, and that's how you get tropical development. But right now we're in a Nemo. Oh no, I'm sorry. Back up. A Lanada. Lanada. We're in a Lanada. So when you're in a Lanada or something like that, Lanada, yeah, something like that, you have more hurricanes. You have more hurricanes in the Atlantic and less in the Pacific. When you have a La Nemo, you have more in the Pacific and less in the Atlantic because the trade winds across the Atlantic. You start getting trade winds and you get that wind shear across the Atlantic and it hinders the development because the thunderstorms have to be stacked. It's got to be like you got to have with no wind shear. You have thunderstorms at the bottom and the top layers of the atmosphere going up about 25 to 35,000 feet up in the atmosphere. You got thunderstorms that are stacked, okay, and you want them right on top of each other. From top to bottom. You don't want it sheared with the shear shearing it off, the shearing the high tops, the high thunderstorm cloud tops off, and like 100 miles to the west of where the center is. So that's one thing you don't want in a thing because you want the storm to develop and get stronger and get more volatile for people that like this stuff like me. I love any kind of um, hurricanes or stuff like that, and any kind of tropical weather. It's my favorite. So basically, you know, uh, we're gonna have a active hurricane season this year, very active season, and I'm predicting anywhere from about four major hurricanes, eight hurricanes, and 13 to 16 tropical storms. 16 to 13, no, 13 to 16, yeah, that's what I said. 13 to 16 tropical storms. So it's going to be a nice active season this year, and I'm really looking forward to it. And um, a lot of times you'll see these cold fronts, come down from the north, and then that'll push it off the coast because the cold front interacts with the tropical storm, and that's what to get that push off to push it off the coast where it doesn't hit the coast. That's what a lot of times that happens. But now that we got this new thing happening, that's not going to happen. I mean, it can still happen, you know, but we haven't been getting a lot of thunderstorms lately so far this year. We haven't been getting a lot of thunderstorms, so it's a good chance it might not happen, you know, as much, as frequent, of it getting pushed off the coast. You know what I mean? These tropical weather getting pushed off the coast might not happen as frequent because of the reason, you know, why being said, because of the let me think here for a minute. Hold on. Because of the thunderstorms aren't as much this year. It ain't as many thunderstorms happening this year. So that's one thing. So, but when you have a lot of thunderstorms and a lot of thunderstorm action coming down, you know, or coming across, that's what can push it off the coast. So, anyway, like I said, you know, a lot of times you'll get these tropical storms, and a lot of times they'll start out as a depression and tropical storm, but then it'll just blow up and be rapid intensification. And we're talking 20 millibars or 24 millibars. I think it's 24 millibars in 24 hours. Yeah, 24 millibars in 24 hours is bombogenesis. And when you have bombogenesis, that means that it's a 24 millibar drop in 24 hours. And that means you may be at 100 millibars, tropical storm, winds at 50 at 100 millibars, and then you may drop down to 980 millibars with a category 1 tropical storm, wind 75. But you can't always go by that, because winds of 75, if it spreads out, if the depression or the tropical storm's winds spread out and become a hybrid or a subtropical, they call it subtropical. Well, a lot of times with the subtropical storms, like we're having down there now, that might interact with a front, the winds will spread out very far out from the center. We're talking about hundreds of miles. So that's what might happen with the storm system down there right now. We got a cold front coming down, okay? And that's going to interact with the system, and that's exactly what Sandy did. We had the high pressure up towards the north. We had the high pressure over on the west, and it was blocked. It just stayed out there and kept developing, getting stronger, and that's what I'm saying. So basically, before I put this on YouTube and post it, I'm just gonna tell you a couple more things, and then, you know, you could always subscribe to my YouTube channel. But I do strongly think the East Coast will get hit with a very, very strong storm this year. We're talking maybe wind gust to 90 miles an hour and winds sustained around 70, 75, all the way up to New York City. Because the waters are so warm. The waters in the deep tropics are so warm. We're talking about 2.5 to 2.5 degrees Celsius, or 2.5 more degrees above the long-term average. Now, when you have 2.5 degrees more warmer of water, that means the ice glaciers will start melting and falling off, and then the rise of the water table will start getting more higher in like Annapolis. That's why they're getting all the flooding in Annapolis, because all the ice glaciers are melting, and you're getting that 2.5 degrees, that 2.5 degrees is melting all the ice glaciers, and it's making the water rise. up about an extra 6 inches or 8 inches higher than what it normally does. So that's why a lot of times when you have like high tides, Annapolis floods. Anyway, it's Annapolis, Maryland, if you know where that's at floods. So anyway, um, but like I said, it's going to be a very active hurricane season this year, and you just got to be prepared. You really do. You just got to be prepared for it, and because I'm prepared for it. We got our generator, and Bridge and Stratton, so it's all good to go and all juiced up. That's how it's going on this end, but you know, and also, I'm a CB radio operator too. I got a 40-foot tower and all that good stuff. So, got me antenna on top of 40-foot tower, and I'm a CB radio operator. You know, so I keep my groups. We all work as a group. We do in the CB world. We all work as a group. We got like a group of like 50 people, 30 to 50 people, or 25 people, like 25, 30. We got a group. We talk, and within our group. Um, yeah. So anyway, but back to what I was saying. Eh, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap it up because it's 12 minutes. I'm gonna wrap it up right here because I don't have nothing else to say. I will talk about CVs and all, so I better wrap it up. Okay, so that was me, and that's today, March. No, May 13th, 2020, and I'm gonna wrap it up. Okay, see you. Bye, 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 bye.